The colors don't match the flavors. What is this nonsense? Hello friends and neighbors, today is September 9th, also known as I'm turning 28 in a month. Oh my god, how did that happen? Just like you were in Alicia's cup holder yesterday from my point of view, 2 days ago from your point of view, you're in my change collecting area today. It's imperfect, but we'll make it work. Also, still wearing my awesome new hat. I am driving back home from Bowling Green after doing my usual Sunday morning thing, and I wanted to talk a little bit about something regarding a recent comment I got on one of my Books vs. Movies reviews. Specifically, this is on the Books vs. Movies review of The Princess Bride. This person said, while acknowledging that I had made a number of good points, what this person said was that most of the changes came down ultimately to budget and the running length of the film. I really don't agree. For one thing, William Goldman, who wrote The Princess Bride and also wrote the screenplay for the movie, is a screenplay writer by trade. He knows probably better than a lot of people what really needs to be done in order to translate a story that was meant to be a book to a story that's meant to be a movie. In the time I've spent comparing books and the movies that are based on them, the movies that are based on books fall into three very general categories. First are the movies that are incredibly faithful to the book, stick right to it, are basically just a visual version of the book. Second is what I call the cut and paste style of adaptation, where they try to stay faithful to a few scenes, like scenes they think the fans are going to like, and then they just kind of lop out other scenes that don't seem entirely necessary. Sometimes this works, but a lot of times it doesn't, because they don't take the time to really carefully consider what needs to be done to connect these scenes. And you're often left with a movie that only appeals to the people who read the book anyway. And if you're going to start making arguments about how if you're going to watch a movie that's based on a book, you should read the book first anyway, shut up. And then the third kind of movie adaptation is the movie adaptation that recognizes that you basically have to reconsider the entire story. Not rewrite it necessarily, still stay true to the spirit of the story and still make it at least somewhat recognizable as the original story, but really carefully reconsider the story itself. And there are a lot of people out there, and a lot of them who watch my videos, who continue to maintain that a movie has to be absolutely faithful to the book that it's based on. And 5 years ago, I was in the same boat. I was in the same camp. I believed that wholeheartedly and very strongly. And when I started doing Books vs. Movies reviews, my opinions on movies that were based on books had changed a little bit and matured a little bit, but I had to do something to confound that stigma that I had established for myself. And that's where the Mad Hatter came from. The Mad Hatter was basically born out of a time on YouTube where I think it was trendy to have multiple personalities, and it was just another multiple personality that I created for myself. But I realized that I had to establish some personality on the channel that was a little bit more reasoned, a little bit more logical, that was willing to acknowledge that movies could be better than the books that they were based on. The movies could improve on the story. Regular Matt is basically the way I was 5 years ago. The Mad Hatter is more like I am, although he's still not entirely like I am. I'm kind of a combination of Reg and Hatter. Hatter is still a little bit more reasonable than I sometimes am. I still am kind of stuck with the nostalgic things that I like. And one of the things that I think my reviews are known for, or at least something that a lot of people have commented on, is that they're very well reasoned, they're very logical, they're very fair to both book and movie. Now, reason is something that I strive for in the reviews, and I think it has helped me to be a better reviewer. And I think that's a key aspect if you're going to do reviews. Your opinion is still very important, of course, because I mean, it's your opinion, it's your review. But you also have to take into consideration what past critics have said, what other people have said, and what other people might think of it. That is how you develop a well-reasoned argument in pretty much anything. You consider the opposing side. You consider the people who are going to think completely opposite of what you think. Anytime I'm writing a review, I try to keep in mind that one hypothetical somebody who is just going to disagree with me on every single point. And I try to think, how am I going to argue to that person? And I think that's why my reviews turn out the way that they do. And those of you who watch my reviews can agree or disagree with me however you feel. And I think that's going to do it for this VEDS video. Hope you enjoyed this little insight on how I do reviews, and until next time, see you later.